The history of the W.E. Shaw Building, Caldwell Motors, and the Hinkle Opera House. Most of these photos are recent photos, and this building is now owned by Sean Williams. Thanks to Sean for the opportunity to photo so much inside this building that is still original. There may be more videos associated with this building as Sean goes forward with his new project. I usually do narration of text because I don't know how well you can see this, and it's for the elderly too. What the people of this growing city really needed, now with a population of around 2,000 in 1909, was a first-class entertainment center. It would not come about with city funds, but from an unlikely source, a livestock company. From the Lenoir topic of January 15, 1908, comes this news report. The Hinkle Livestock Company is preparing to build a structure on the vacant lot next to their stables. From Lenoir News Topic Media. Here is a review of their business. The Hinkle Livestock Company, construction to begin in June 1908. The handsome new building occupied by this company at Lenoir is 60 by 145 feet in floor dimensions, having 2 stories and a basement. This basement has ample room for stabling 150 horses. The first floor was designed to showcase buggies and harnesses. The business of this company is very extensive, and its operations include the buying and selling of horses and mules. This work has been of great value in supplying western North Carolina with good and desirable stock. It is the largest concern of its kind in the South, the main office being in Statesville, while important branches are established at Lenoir, Hickory, and Newton. Here are some notes of its beginnings. The company was incorporated 7 years ago, 1901, and the officers at the present time are L.P. Hinkle, President, C.V. Hinkle, Vice President, T.L. Hinkle, Second Vice President, D.J. Gregg, Secretary and Treasurer. The new designs show the offices of the company and a magnificent showroom for buggies and carriages. The area of this showroom is 7,000 square feet, rendering it probably as the finest in the state. The Hinkle building would later have a skating rink downstairs on the main floor, and in 1908 became a new showplace for the people of Lenoir. The upper floor of the building contains the Hinkle Opera House, which has a seating capacity for 1,500 people. A handsome stage, and was supplied with a choice of scenery and artistic drop curtain. Electrical switch boxes were located backstage. Here are some newspaper reports pertaining to the Hinkle Opera House from the Lenoir News Topic newspaper. 3/1808 Electric Moving Picture Show opened at the Opera House. They will be shown tonight and Saturday night. New pictures provided for each performance. On schedule are the following: Madam Frances, The Unknown Talent, Tipper's Race, Inexhaustible Barrel, On Account of a Lost Collar Button, Little Red Riding Hood, and Charlie's Dream. The moving picture exhibitions having been shown at the Opera House will hereafter be shown in the Cloyd and Johnson building on the first floor adjoining the office of Lenoir Realty and Insurance Company. It was after this date that no further ads were published in the local news media. The opera company staff was putting on some first-class shows in vaudeville acts, but with the wages of the factory workers at this time, this simply did not lend itself for local theater goers to arrive in horse-drawn carriages and dressed in formal attire for the night's festivities. Most of the population were of the hard-working class, while only those living up on the hill could afford this entertainment style. It was a venture too soon for the times. The Hinkle Livestock Company building had several occupants. In 1911, it would be the Allen Buggy and Carriage Company. Moving in later would be the Lenoir Buggy Company, which later became Caldwell Motor Company. Presently, the William Shaw Furniture Store is the occupant. In March of 2007, this retail furniture business would move to another location and put the Shaw building up for lease. The writer was invited to go upstairs to the opera floor. The stage is still there, complete with stage lights. The left side stair steps lead to the dressing rooms and the electrical control panel for the interior lighting. The pulleys and ropes for the scene stages are still in place. It was as if the actors had just simply left and never come back. Visiting the basement, one can visualize the handsome buggies arriving for a night's opera program long ago. This livery would house the horses and coaches until departure of the patrons after the performances. One can still sense the aroma of fresh polished leather upon the bridles and gear from a long past era. It is a very large basement and could easily accommodate 100 or so horses during the evening. But around January of 1921, preparations were being made for a new home for the old opera house. In documenting locations, it must be realized that with remodeling, additions to the structure like arcades, etc., addresses will change very quickly by 2 or 3 numbers and would not be recorded immediately. Herein is news from the Lenoir City press media as it was reported. The Lenoir News Topic, 1/13/1921. Lenoir to have a new opera house built in the rear of the Harrison Building. The Harrison Building is located directly on the square of the city, downtown. A new auditorium will seat 600 people. Mr. George O. Shakespeare and Associates recently purchased the Harrison Building. The entrance to the auditorium will be on the side of the building facing the square, and the building will be in harmony with the improvements now being made on the building. The construction should be completed before the 1st of May. It will be a 2-story yellow brick structure with a large main floor and a balcony. The equipment will be of the most modern. In addition to the auditorium, when completed, will be one of the finest to be found. A contract has already been signed with R.W. Sherrill, who has had years of experience as one of the leading exhibitors in the country to take charge of amusement. Sherrill plans to give excellent moving picture shows and to secure good attractions of vaudeville and stock companies for additional concerts. This business too would soon close. One cannot explain why the folks in Lenoir did not accept the opera and vaudeville style of entertainment. It seems the stage theater was too late for the times. The moving picture shows were coming at a rapid pace and took over the old opera-style theater. The original wall switches are still there on the lath, and most of the plaster is gone. Lath and plaster were used before we had sheetrock. Huge wooden beam in the Hinkle livery stable. Hinkle Opera House stage light sockets. This is the second hatch in the stage floor, showing the tin ceiling on the first floor. The Hinkle Livestock Company, dealers in livestock and vehicles, Babcock Buggies, Studebaker, and J.I. Nissan Wagon Specialties. Principal offices at Statesville, North Carolina. Lenoir, July 22, 1903. Mr. Julian Mitchell, Dear Sir, yours of the 20th to hold and contents noted, and in reply will say that we will let you have a horse and buggy that will seat 2 passengers for $2 per day, and would like for you to let us know at once whether you would want the outfit or not, as we will be very busy at that time and would have to arrange for the same. Yours, signed just the letter S, Hinkle Livestock Company. Hinkle original office door to the mezzanine. Hinkle mezzanine with the original floor and pegboard over the walls. Looking from mezzanine to the right door of stage. Hinkle Opera House stairs leading to mezzanine. Mezzanine door leading to the first floor. Photo years ago of the original stage and control panel. Hinkle shaft and pulleys provided power by way of leather belts to individual machines, probably to make carriages. Hinkle, Caldwell Motors, and Shaw original wood columns. Original door to the right of the Hinkle stage to downstairs. Hinkle Opera House stage lighting electrical panel. A filled-in entrance with cinder block in the Hinkle livery stable. Hinkle livery stable filled-in window. Hinkle filled-in entrance. There are 3 like this, 1 usable. Hinkle, Caldwell Motors, and Shaw Building original floor, first floor. Hinkle Opera House looking to front with door to fire escape. Lenoir historian Bruce Craig checks out iron I-beam added years later. Hinkle stage window facing south. Hinkle coal room, front basement of building, livery stable. This is what I really enjoy, seeing what few people have ever seen before. I have found out that seeing these dirt banks and basements of these old buildings is not that unusual. Hinkle livery stable coal room and evidence of coal in the dirt. Hinkle livery stable and carriage shop coal room debris. Who knows what artifacts might be found in this pile of debris should someone take the time to go through this. Hinkle livery stable window. Hinkle livery stable original bricked-in window. Another view of the Hinkle, Caldwell Motors and Shaw Building, first floor original wood columns. Hinkle livery stable original brick wall. Hinkle, Caldwell Motors, Shaw Building, first floor, original tin ceilings. And if you follow what I do, you have seen many of these original tin ceilings in buildings like Lenoir Drugstore and Lenoir Hardware. Hinkle, Caldwell Motors, and Shaw Original Waste Plumbing. Hinkle rear stage wall, and what that 1/4-inch iron plate is for, I don't know, but it is not original, I don't think. Hinkle Opera House original tin ceiling that is rusting away. Shaft support bearing for the belt-driven machinery in the Hinkle livery and carriage shop. Hinkle shafts and pulleys provided power by way of leather belts to individual machines, probably to make carriages. Another bricked-in window in the livery stable. This is the Hinkle Opera House original stage ceiling. Hinkle door to the right of the stage to mezzanine. Underneath the left side of the Hinkle stage, photo taken through hatch. Again, if someone would take the time to go through this debris, who knows what artifacts might be found. Historically valuable artifacts. Hinkle Opera House stage. Hinkle, Caldwell Motors, and Shaw stairs to mezzanine with historian Bruce Craig left and owner Sean Williams. Hinkle stairway from livery stable to first floor. The reason I mention Hinkle in every photo is that these photos by themselves will be out on the internet forever. Original stairway, Hinkle Opera House, with Sean Williams front, historian Bruce Craig in the rear. This is the underneath of the right side of the Hinkle stage, taken through the hatch. You can see the curvature of the stage on the right. Hinkle stage wall lath and plaster. Hinkle Opera House stage window frame showing detail. A bricked-in Hinkle Opera House stage window. Lenoir, North Carolina, historian Bruce Craig sitting with Sean Williams, building owner. Bruce Craig holding the Hinkle Opera House electrical panel closed. Hinkle livery stable and carriage shop, concrete floor added later. Hinkle livery stable coal room hatch at front of the building, now covered with concrete. Hinkle Caldwell Motors Shaw Building, first floor, looking to front from mezzanine. Another Hinkle livery stable, original window. Hinkle Opera House stairs from door left of stage to landing to mezzanine. Hinkle Caldwell Motors and Shaw Building ceiling, main floor and mezzanine. Carriage entrance for the old Hinkle Livestock Company, Mulberry Street, Lenoir, North Carolina. Hinkle second mezzanine door beside office door. Hinkle mezzanine wall and window now partially covered with pegboard. This is a view that one may have had back in the old days looking from the fire escape door at the top of the Hinkle Opera Building. Fire escape, W.E. Shaw, Hinkle Caldwell Motors Building. I believe back a few years ago that this fire escape collapsed when some city officials were inspecting this building. In this 1920 photo of Caldwell Motors, you can see the fire escape, but just how far back it goes, I don't know. I don't know if it was original to the Hinkle Opera House or not. Shaw, Hinkle, Caldwell Motors, rear of the building, showing one of the entrances to the livery stable. Shaw, Hinkle, Caldwell Motors, side rear photo. Hinkle Opera House stage looking south, right side. One of the many bricked-in original windows, Shaw Hinkle Building, Lenoir, North Carolina. And another bricked-in window. This Shaw Furniture Company sign still remains in the old Hinkle Opera House. Hinkle Opera House main original floor showing subflooring. Sean Williams, owner, left with historian Bruce Craig, Hinkle mezzanine floor. Broken floor joist in Hinkle livery stable. Original main floor in the Hinkle Opera House. Top of Hinkle Shaw Caldwell Motors window on West Avenue, showing just how much has been filled in since the building's original construction. Another Hinkle stage hatch opening showing debris. The Hinkle stage floor, which is original. Hinkle stage window that has been bricked in. These original 2x4s measure 2x4, not like today's 2x4s that are less. Another view looking west on West Avenue. Much in this photo would have looked the same in the old days. Looking east on the fire escape. Another of many bricked-in windows. Another view of the pulleys and belts used to drive machinery back in the old days in the livery stable and carriage shop. This light belongs to Bruce Craig, and he gave it to Sean Williams. Historian Bruce Craig has a huge collection of artifacts and memorabilia of this area, Lenoir and Caldwell County, North Carolina. We temporarily hung this light at Bruce Craig's home to take this photo. Another view of that light base, and I believe Bruce said it's brass. One more view. Bruce Craig also gave this Caldwell Motors receipt book to owner Sean Williams. I found these court documents online, and this may or may not be of interest to you. In the Supreme Court, Abernathy v. Starnes, A.S. Abernathy v. W.C. Starnes and the Hinkle Livestock Company, filed 3 December 1913. Mortgages, incorrect registration, notice, subsequent mortgage action. A chattel mortgage of a bay horse incorrectly recorded as a bay steer does not give notice to a subsequent mortgagee of a horse of the prior encumbrance, and the lien of the second mortgage is prior to that of the first, though subsequently registered. and where the first mortgagee has obtained possession of the horse under a judgment rendered in claim and delivery before a justice of the peace, has sold the horse, satisfied his debt, and turned the balance of the proceeds over to the second mortgagee, and the justice's judgment has been reversed on appeal, the latter may recover so much of the proceeds of sale of the horse from the former as will satisfy the balance due on his lien. Appeal by plaintiff from Daniels J. at May term 1913 of Caldwell. Appeal from Justice's Court to the Superior Court and heard upon the following agreed facts. 1. That on 7th of July 1908, W.C. Starnes executed a chattel mortgage to A.S. Abernathy, which mortgage was registered in Caldwell County on 11th March 1908 in Book X on page 331, and the following is a copy thereof, as the same appears of Caldwell County on 11 March 1908 in Book X of page 331, and the following is a copy thereof, as the same appears of record. State of North Carolina, Catawba County. I, W.C. Starnes of the County of Caldwell in the State of North Carolina, am indebted to A.S. Abernathy of Catawba County in said state in the sum of $94, for which they hold my note to be due on 7 July A.D. 1909, and to secure payment of the same, I do hereby convey to them these articles of personal property, to wit, 1 top new Decatur buggy, 1 set single buggy harness, both this day bought by A.S. Abernathy, also 1 pair of bay steers about 6 and 7 years old. The above described property is free from encumbrance. But on this special trust, that if I fail to pay said debt and interest on or before 7 July A.D. 1909, then they may sell said property, or so much thereof as may be necessary, by public auction for cash, first giving 20 days' notice at 3 public places in the county, and apply the proceeds of such sale to the discharge of said debt and interest on the same, and pay any surplus to me. Given my hand and seal the 7th July A.D. 1908, W.C. Starnes, and then the seal, witness F.A. Abernathy. 2. That the 1 pair of bay steers, as appears upon said record, was not correctly transcribed from the original, but was written in the original 1 pair of bay horses. 3. That on 26 January 1909, the said W.C. Starnes executed a mortgage to the interpleader, which was correctly copied upon the record, and the same is, in words and figures, as follows: $370.40. State of North Carolina, Catawba County. I, W.C. Starnes of the County of Caldwell in the State of North Carolina, am indebted to the Hinkle Livestock Company of Iredell County in said state in the sum of $370.40, for which they hold my note to be due on 1 November A.D. 1909, and to secure payment of the same, I do hereby convey to them these articles of personal property, to wit, 1 pair of brown mare mules about 7 years old, stoutly built, with brown noses, weight about 1,800 pounds, 1 set of double wagon harnesses made by the Flanagan Harness Company, the above this day received of them, 1 pair bay horses about 7 to 8 years old, with white hind feet, weight about 2,700 pounds, bought of company, worth about $500, 1 8-disc Bickford and Huffman grain drill, bought of company, worth about $70. The above described property is free from encumbrance, but on this special trust, that if I fail to pay said debt and interest on or before 1 November AD 19 left blank, or fail to properly feed or care for the above property, then they may sell said property or so much thereof as may be necessary by public auction for cash at the First National Bank, Hickory, North Carolina, or in the county of the undersigned mortgagor, first giving 20 days notice at 3 public places in the county where said sale is to take place as per terms of the mortgage, and apply the proceeds of such sale to the discharge of said debt and interest on the same, and pay any surplus to me, given under my hand and seal this 26th day of January A.D. 1909, W.C. Starnes, and then the seal. 4. That one of the bay horses described in the said mortgage to Hinkle Livestock Company was one of the same horses that was conveyed to the plaintiff, A.S. Abernathy. 5. That the justice of the peace rendered a judgment in favor of the plaintiff for the possession of the said horse referred to in the next preceding paragraph, and plaintiff, after due advertisement, sold the same under the terms of his mortgage, at which sale the said horse was purchased by Hinkle Livestock Company for the sum of $140. 6. That the amount of plaintiff's debt, with the cost of sale and advertisement, was a sum of $70.20, and the Hinkle Livestock Company receipted for the residue of the amount said horse brought at sale by its paper writing in the following words and figures. A.S. Abernathy, dealer in horses, mules, carriages, wagons, harnesses, etc., Hickory, North Carolina, 18th September 1909, received of A.S. Abernathy $69.80 after deducting the amount of his claim, $70.20, which was secured by the first mortgage on one bay horse 7 years old, said mortgage given by W.C. Starnes. This horse was this day sold by the said first mortgage at A.S. Abernathy's stable. The Hinkle Livestock Company, being the purchasers of said horse, they agree to arrange any other claims or suits or mortgage against said horse or A.S. Abernathy while he, A.S. Abernathy, was in possession of the horse. The horse was sold and turned over to the Hinkle Livestock Company with the above amount of money. Hinkle Livestock Company by W.I. Caldwell. 7. That the plaintiff, A.S. Abernathy, is a resident of Hickory, North Carolina, and his mortgage was transmitted by mail to the Register of Deeds of Caldwell County, who registered same as herein before set forth, and returned same to plaintiff by mail. 8. That the Hinkle Livestock Company, at the time of taking their mortgage, did not actually examine the records of the office of the Register of Deeds for the purpose of ascertaining whether or not any liens or encumbrances were against W.C. Starnes for the property described in their mortgage. The following is agreed between the parties to be a true statement of the facts necessary to a decision of this cause, and it is agreed that the judge presiding and holding this term of court may decide the same either in or out of the district as of this term. Mark Squires, attorney for plaintiff; Lawrence Wakefield, attorney for the interpleader. Upon the foregoing facts, it is considered and adjudged by the court that Hinkle Livestock Company recover of plaintiff the sum of $70.20 with interest thereon from 18 September 1909, and the cost of the interpleader, Hinkle Livestock Company, to be taxed by the clerk, F.A. Daniels, judge presiding. The plaintiff accepted and appealed. Mark Squires for plaintiff, Lawrence Wakefield for the interpleader. Brown J., after stating the case, this action with the ancillary claim and delivery was brought to recover one bay horse from the defendant Starnes, the Hinkle Livestock Company interpleaded claiming the horse under its mortgage, also executed by said defendant. The Justice of the Peace rendered judgment giving the horse to plaintiff, and the interpleader appealed to the Superior Court. Pending the trial of the case in the Superior Court, the plaintiff, having obtained possession under the Justice's judgment, sold the horse at public sale under the power contained in the mortgage, and the Hinkle Livestock Company purchased it for $140. The plaintiff applied $70.20 to his own mortgage debt, claiming it to be the first mortgage, and paid the remainder, $69.80, to the Hinkle Company. This being insufficient to discharge the Hinkle debt and mortgage, the litigation is over the $70.20 retained by the plaintiff from the proceeds of the sale of the horse. It is plain that the plaintiff's mortgage on one pair of bay horses was not properly recorded. As registered, it described one pair of bay steers. This would not give notice to a subsequent mortgagee that the plaintiff's mortgage conveyed horses instead of steers. As the Hinkle mortgage, although subsequent in execution to the plaintiff's, was properly registered, it gave the Hinkle Livestock Company the prior lien on the bay horses. Nor is there anything in the receipt dated 18th September 1909 which stops the Hinkle Company from pursuing its claim to the $70.20, the proceeds of sale of the bay horse. Had the horse not been sold, the Hinkle Company would have recovered the horse itself, as it holds the prior valid mortgage. It is entitled to the proceeds necessary to satisfy its mortgage. Affirmed. A large old brick building sitting mostly vacant at the corner of West Avenue and Mulberry Street in Lenoir will undergo an intense makeover into a hands-on museum, learning center, entrepreneur incubator, and residential apartments. Sean Williams, who bought the building in January, says he wants to transform the space into a place where people of all ages can come and learn more about STEAM, science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics. The idea for the museum came from the simple desire of wanting something interesting and cool to do in downtown Lenoir, he said. Williams has a background in chemistry and recently left a position with Excella Pharma Sciences to pursue the development of the museum, to be called Picking Up STEAM. The museum will target children from grade 5 up. The first floor will serve as a space for the museum's hands-on exhibits, the learning center for classes such as SAT preparation and English as a second language, an event space, and a gift shop full of nerdy gadgets and gear, Williams said. He plans on having 12 exhibits, with the first 2 being focused on Caldwell County's grassroots and the history of the building, which was built in 1900 and used to be the home to W.E. Shaw Furniture Company and the Caldwell Motor Company, and also the Hinkle Opera House. So there's a lot at the Caldwell County Heritage Museum that they already have. So we don't want to step on their toes, but we do want to get some of the older woodworking equipment and photos, Williams said, adding that a video on Lenoir's history may be added as well. And speaking as a Board of Directors member at our Caldwell Heritage Museum, Sean is certainly not stepping on any toes, and we at the museum appreciate what he is doing. The rest of the exhibit rooms will involve the senses, technology such as 3D printers and robotics, or other things that involve hands-on learning. Some of the exhibits are sensory exhibits, where if you walk into a room and there's nothing but lavender pictures, you're also smelling the lavender. You might be able to taste the lavender, he said. We want it to be something that is set aside and something that is original as well. Williams plans on visiting the Children's Museum of Denver in Colorado and the Oregon Museum of Science and Industry to gather more ideas of what engages children and to get a better idea of what else he may want to add to the museum. We want a small dome theater. We want someone who's never been out to Wilson's Creek, and I'm going to have a 3D camera, and I'm just going to set it up for an hour at the creek and go away, he said. So if there's somebody who can't go to Wilson Creek, or maybe they're handicapped or something that's preventing them from going, they'll be able to sit in a small, almost like a tent, area and watch and hear and see and maybe smell a campfire. The basement level of the building, focusing more on older children and adults, will have an entrepreneur incubator and a maker space. Williams would like to see a variety of trades taught, such as pottery and blacksmithing, and will have all sorts of workbenches and tools available for people to use. The 6,000 square foot top floor is currently being renovated into several residential apartments, 2 of which are planned to be weekly rentals for tourists. Williams plans on having the apartments done by spring 2018, with the rest of the building completed in August 2018. The building's renovations will include an element of sustainability with a system to capture and reuse rainwater and solar panels on the roof for electricity. Eventually, we will have huge reservoirs that will collect all that rain from the roof, and we're going to have a filtration system so people can shower with that water. The roof was replaced a few months ago, and there are still a few structural issues to be fixed. A freight elevator, several staircases, and possibly a rock climbing wall will also be built into the building. So far, we've spent about $75,000, and then we look to spend about $1.25 million at least, Williams said. Although a significant amount of money has been spent on the building so far, getting to this point was no easy path for Williams after 3 banks turned him down in November. Williams said he became depressed until the People's Bank of Hickory took his insight and ran with it. This is kind of a blank palette. From here on, anything goes. To some it's a pipe dream, but to me it's not, Williams said. Some of it sounds like a pipe dream. I dream big and don't stop, because I know it can happen and it's going to. Good luck to Sean on his project, and I hope to follow Sean with video. So hopefully we can do more videos of this project in progress. Please support our Caldwell Heritage Museum, 112 Vaden Street, Lenoir, North Carolina, 28645. Come be a volunteer. We'd appreciate it.